Adam Kumano, and one Mukasa Chib say, Chese Utimi say, Proyebi Akoso, wo ye Ugo Piemo, bulk oil and ye transportation company, Chanitia, I can boost na Proyebi Akoso, wa. Utumuli sikafa wamamfo ensa 700 some bese ye 39 million US dollars inti sabra manuguso amene wo ekasa die ade ne manimu ya wono ehwe se empenifo enhwe na emwa na ene be bibiara sa proye no efiri no wono entimi enyi emfa emfiri ho sabra manuguso amene wo ekasa ade dom kuma de kasa chirim se wono nwanwa papa na awose a ababegu wono no enam sa keta se dream die kankan ne proye akoso wono one more say a chain yakufunu. Enti one more penetro empenua. Asama one more can many mu say empen for hey. One for 1 9 AC from no munya seven mu said ye beya. Saket as she dream the cancana proye a akoso hono. Baby a sika I would do a secretary dino etimi afano. One more ebetimi at one was na semno. And in could demonstrate. One matimi him, nani paponifoa. One more edis any papon for 7. One matimi do 1 million aba and seniani na abino so etimi atri one more asun.
A twin tower state-of-the-art multi-complex story building in 2015. Indeed, all the preparations had been concluded and the contractor, Rolida, was about commencing. However, following the 2016 elections, the new administration constituted by the Acquah government labeled a plethora of allegations against Mr. Acquah and his team. Terminated in Iyoko, inviting Mr. Acquah and members of his team, subjected them to very thorough investigations. After so many months of investigations by Iyoko, the report, which we have a copy here and we'll share with you, not only exonerated them, the report confirmed that indeed that project met all the ingredients of value for money and that the project was indeed viable and ought to continue. One would have thought that having concluded that, BOST would continue with that project based on the initial amount of $39 million. Let me put on record that the Twin Tower originally was scheduled to cost $39 million. However, documents that we have intercepted, and ladies and gentlemen, we have labeled all the documents in order to ensure that we provide you with the evidence. This is documents, 102 different documents, 102 documents, and we've labeled them. So for instance, this Exhibit B. So when you receive them, you will see Exhibit A, Exhibit B, in order to make it easier for you to peruse. That contract was said to have increased to $49 million. From $39 million, it increased to $49 million. That is not enough. Having increased to 49, the board of BOST decided that they will procure only one single unit. They wrote to the Minister of Finance and had a response from the Deputy Minister, John Kuma, granting them approval to procure that single unit at $24 million. If you look at the old amount, it should have been 19.5. So it went to 24.
I was avoiding transam no so na fe yankɔ anim na krom ha yi we nipa bɔne for some get as she dream die kaka ne proya adokro nkrofo bie said no komo adokro akoda foforo nti ye won nkrofo bi ho a won mu nya dwuma wa ban mu nanso won ma jaketo ya obi krampo o nipa ba ko so ne din be ye nwotwe wasesa no ana ni na wode gisika egu o my Ghana ayi ono nko ani butum eno no ade a wokɔ aban krata mu a ye friend ghost names na sabra ma no guso amene wuka sei ade asenatefo de sama betudwa won mo kasa kyerem say ghost names ahodo a wo aban krata mu nyina da won mo de priority aprapro ni nyina ma sabre de won mo homem no aye fe kofi se bekɔ a ya yam na ewie so a yesan de akonika Abrikam as Acquah yam. Na isan se empanifo se ateche na ema ekwan mu adiri no. Wonu yesa de se de be ya bitimi aboa na mo magani sika kakra na ewo no yetimi abo ho ban. Senatefo kasa chim se enye twatwa nkoan ya do kotokro so ka ho ema ado smooth enti sabredi sika wonu matimi save ede mo magana ho edo no so be se 320 million Ghana cedis and one matimi SAV Ediam my Ghana. Ghost names in Makuma Consoha, one mu edi every books in Monodo so measure 6,300 and a year 39. And now one more edi every books to more Ababe Boama Yamina etimi akonkai. Quantre for penny Eddie Emma Snitz and Dr. John Ofori or no around the Sansamina etuga.
The majority of the issues had to deal with legacy investments, and some of them going back as far as 1996. What has happened is that since our job is to make sure that whatever investments that were not performing, we are actually taking steps to make sure that they perform. Some of the things that we've done is that for some of the investments where we do not have proper oversight control, or we are the majority shareholders, we have gone out to try and seek private sector participation, specifically in our hotels. You may recall that we put an ad in the newspaper where we seek private sector participation so that people who know how to make money in that business get into the driver's seat and we tag along. There are certain things like how we do our investment appraisals and what kind of structures, investment structures of vehicles that we put in place to undertake these investments. We have revised our 47. That is the age of 72, and then people who will be on Act 76, it would have been the age of 75.
Young Twa and some no so na enko yenim na e wo man Ghana mu no e ade asabre de e fema gudi a yetu se yetu no niko demosiri o nante eyi anajo boko se robot left right na wa baby enwura ne ni o be ni ne kwa bedem na wode chamfine ene eyi apaso hammer pinkas sophie etu fam kuri akotu fema gudi no yenye okromo ha it is illegal wunim na koyi bisani ensa so mu a ye ne wo bika na Chinese firm akomaako edu Ghana companies minu won mu ebubu nu de gu mu asomu enti kora so dogo bi no abe na Kweku empotemu ho pipe etru na sabra manugusa me na wo kasa di onyankopon ai won mo adom Emma Counter Intelligence Unit of the Office of the President for Atmi Acquah chere wonu mu a manuguso amene wo ka said ye de wonu mu nyina Acquah twiri mu a ye hwe ya ba bi di wonu asem na asotwe bi wo ho no yetimi de ama wonu mu na wo Kweku empotem ho de abusuafo no kuranie ani nso buru wa se buru wa nkase petel so nsase wonu ma se no enye nsase keto akrati jula bosom ne de to so eduonu ensia abrada ya na sabri wonu mata Acquah Chinese for chencha twa wonu mani nketenketi wonu mu ese asase Ghana for companies ye nuo eka wonu mu ho ene wonu mu eye sa insemhunu ya wonu mu eye na eno na Kweku West Municipal Chief executive lawyer ya Owusu Ado ene nsemato dwo mu kasa chire se ankrofo emu obi aha ne ho na wonu mu ene wonu mu ebedi ne pa sadia emra no ese
Kokobo edemo say the President of the Republic and the Ministry of Lands and the National Security Minister and his coordinator Sanya Monamo so omo di omudumedie fenchen e de aboa the President of the Republic or say abenja issue nti the person mona mo esa de ni yan won hwe na won dey wonja
TV station bebre abobo medin pen say meti ha jama edwumade a nkofo tutu sika ewo masase mo jama menka ho enemo amu wo hai mo hu nyame na meka kire mo ko ise mo kwa menka ho moko sites ne muni penifo ko site na menka ho bi enso so moko a obia nkase mine no a moya na media obia mfasika bia mre me se omogigi ska na omode bre me
na nja dwumadie emanensi ho a na aban bo modern se obe establish permanent yamaye because nipa de ufiri ho anajo sanse anajo yenni omuni ho nti anajo mutimi ye dwuma bia ompese omoye
abzafo yentro nsam no so na yenko enim na Tree Crops Development Authority and one of the ensema betu bi omukasa chibise wonomo de hihye yefufuro bi kura eba beboa pa ma tree crop etimi ejira na so na jesi nnua hodo ayenya nnuane ewo mu no etimi ejira ne na so pa amane nyina etimi akonka na we no efie num 5-year strategic plan and one more edi eba beboa ma tree crop industry no etimi ejina pa anti we no lunch a one more babe no ebeboa pa na obia enim Mampany's Excellency na Kweku Puado iti kese awi adwe na woso da ye de sa tree crop yi wode eba ya sabre so one more babe lunch 5-year development plan na dwumadie na se no ebeye butu Mampany's Excellency na Kweku Puado onie Dr. Owusu Efriye Akoto ebe special guest here wo beba na wono so ade nanim nyam ababa beta dwumadie ni nyina echi se de be ya ebeboa na ama enema nyina enso so etimi akọ enkan ede ama wono mu.
The government of Nana Adinkra Akufo-Addo to bring into fruition this idea of diversification away from cocoa. Cocoa, for 130 years, since our good friend brought it from Fernando Po onto the hills of Acquah, has been the mover and shaker of the economy of the Gold Coast then and Ghana up to today. Cocoa is earning us something like $2 billion a year. The vision of this government of Akufo-Addo is to select these 6 crops and give it 8 to 10 years for each of them to be able to produce and export, at least in its raw form equivalent, the $2 billion that cocoa is giving us today. Which means that we are talking about a figure of $12 billion coming out of this presentation.
But you won't be a baby and also a war Sebio and Hodin Nipa da Sani Abruchini and Mansana Epe and associate me here and the Nico Nasi Dua na mama 40 million year and also may sketch sekuna a duabe a muma kunsia ana abain ape ana wati a kubia I have yatuni tree crop development authority said you are bensian a cash
Abusuafo sabre ani bia ba obi adwene ho aye prekakra yebedie no kopie mu wo wo fo ase nye ho sa na tie wo ho enipa makoma be se nan wonu mo prepra ebi se kan bibinu tim ebinu mo nan etwe bia ni ase krikra ba kokora de afa mu ahwere ne nkwane nyina de asem na ba kopie mu wo achem brenasia wonu mu youth eni nzongo youth wo ofo ase wo Chimansa district no emu epoye mantem no emu en wono mu edi abu ani pite enya sam keto akura se manugusu amene wo kasa die okopie mu wo empatemu ehwa yade a Ofase district police commander superintendent George Bawa en wono so confirm sa ne nia ekoso no nokore na we mentimi wase a aba beda afenu mienu no achem Brediansi youth and afe zongo youth wo mo afase no wa Chimansa district no mu no mentime wanse ana ababeda wono mo entemu a enya asem ketwa zongo youth no wono mo etimi achi enipa makomakom yensa na wono mo apolisifo hwehwe wono mo wo achem Brediansi wono wono mo etimi achi nipa yensa de akwakoma apolisifo na na emu baako de wono mo that police for the wanted list so na se manu gusu amene wukase obi ntimi hu adekode potipa akwakọ hinya ne ho a amantokwa yi aba nanso se manu gusu amene wu kase die ade a Ofase District Police Commander Superintendent George Bawa kasa chirim say, oh, everybody should be calm. Obi amana come and tell them. Na the men are in control.